Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us here live. We are live down at Whitecast Studio. I'm Kim Martin, founder of I've Decided and host of the show today, which is The Source. And I am here with Melissa Maubach, the manager of Curves.
Hello.
Hey Melissa, how's it going?
It's going good.
I'm so excited you're here with me today.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. It's been a while, but this is a good topic, I think, because this is our weekly winning word is reward. So every week we send out our weekly winning resource to all of our members to get it in your inbox. And we kind of pick one word that we can focus on during the week and just kind of dive into it and utilize it in helping us achieve our goals and dreams and how it can apply to us and just gives us something to stay focused on, which is really cool. So on Sunday on the radio show, we talked about how, our society, reward is good.
Yeah.
First of all, it's good. But our society is kind of in a reward overload.
Just a little.
And I thought, man, Melissa could probably speak to this because we do kind of like to reward ourselves after being good all week with a chocolate cake on Friday. You were sharing with me some conversation you were having with the members before you came down here.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling one of the members that she goes, "What are you guys talking about today?" And so I told her and she said, "I am a teacher, so I totally get that." And multi-tiered. She's like, if you didn't tell a kid good job right away, they'd be like, "Oh, she didn't reward me." She goes, but on the flip side, she said, like, her reward was when she all of a sudden saw that light bulb come on and the kid just got what she was trying to get through to them, and just that moment. She's like, that was a reward for her.
Right.
Not necessarily a given reward, just a received reward out of all her hard work.
The best rewards. And so I kind of questioned when I put this weekly winning word into our program and into our success planner and journal. I questioned it because I will admit, I will say this. I hope nobody gets mad at me. If you do, you can let me know. We can talk about it. But I am not a believer that everybody should get an award. I think rewards are meant for hard work, going above and beyond the extra mile, putting forth that extra effort. And I believe recognition, great job. Everybody should feel good about what they have accomplished, but I don't think that we shouldn't hand out awards and rewards like candy.
Yeah, sometimes if you just stop for a minute after you've been working so hard to, whether it's to get recognition or whatever, to get your project done, whatever you're wanting to complete, if you just stop and sit back and you look, that's your reward enough to actually see this project that you've been working on fall into place. Or just people, like when we did our remodel of Curves, oh my gosh, that was a lot of work in 4 days. And the reward was to see the members' faces when you walked in the door. And they were just like, "Oh my gosh, it looks so good."
Right.
And you're like, "Oh, yes, it does."
It doesn't always have to be a tangible
No, you just have to sit
reward.
back and maybe look.
Right.
And you'll actually see that reward if you just pause for a minute.
Yeah. So what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today is, are we utilizing instant gratification as a reward? You know what I mean? Are we using the right thing for a reward? I wrote an article, and this is what it says in the beginning. I said, "Why do I find myself skipping out on exercise as a reward to being good with my choices in the food I've eaten? Or even worse," this is really what I do, "rewarding myself with 1,000-calorie dessert on Friday because I've been so good all week."
Been there, done that.
Is that how you're rewarding yourself? I mean, like, seriously.
And occasionally, fine. not a big deal.
Right.
But when I lost all my weight, I rewarded myself every single week with a treat that I was dying for if I hit my weight loss. Like if I lost any weight, I would reward myself that way. And it was just not the way to go. It is what it is,
Right.
it happened. But I was speaking with the same member this morning, and she said that she believes some of that can become like habitual and what you learned as you grew up.
Right.
Like I told my daughter the other day, I said, "Hey, you got on the honor roll. That's awesome. Let's go over across the street for ice cream." How about just a pat on the back? Like, I am so proud of you.
Because you put forth the best effort you could, and you should
Yeah.
be so proud of yourself. Well, and I talked about this on the radio show. Kinsley comes home when she's like in 3rd or 4th grade. All of her friends are getting like money for their straight A's, and she's like, so-and-so got $5 for every A. She goes, I got all A's. Like, how much money do I get? I'm like, we don't give money for straight A's.
No.
That's something if you can do it, you should do it. And if you can do it, that doesn't warrant an award. Or a reward, I should say.
Yeah.
It doesn't warrant a reward just because you're doing what you can do. Now, I'm not saying that if you have a child who may be absolutely struggling in something, and they are working hard, they're being tutored, they are putting forth effort, they're spending 2 hours every night studying because it doesn't come easy to them, and they've been getting C's on every test, and then all of a sudden they get an A on a test. That would warrant a reward.
Yeah.
That's different.
And an occasional reward, not an every time
Not every
reward.
time, but-
and there's a difference between encouragement and a reward.
Right.
You can constantly reward them with your words. Sometimes that is so much more than something tangible like that they can hold in their hands. But just that, like, I am so proud of you, just that encouragement, that is really, truly the reward that they're really
Yeah.
looking for.
But we all do. But on the same token, we all do need rewards. We all need
Yeah.
incentives.
Yeah.
We want to say, we want you to notice that we did something outside of what we would normally do, above and beyond. So reward isn't a bad thing, and
No.
we definitely want to use rewards. But what about, like, okay, going back to rewarding yourself with 1,000-calorie, loaded with sugar, poison cake? How can we start? How do you think, Melissa, we can start changing that mindset that a reward should be something that's good? It shouldn't be something that's bad. I mean, like, okay, eat the cake if you want to, but we shouldn't look at it as a reward. That's not a good thing
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah, we were just talking about that on the circuit the other day. And for me, I was like, the reward is that my pants fit better.
Don't have to lay
that
down
I did all
and
this
zip up your
work.
pants on the bed.
Or just stand up all day because you cannot sit.
Again.
Oh, goodness. But, I was telling them, I was like, how do you reward yourself when you've lost weight? And we actually talked about it for a while. And I was like, do you ever think about going and getting a pedicure or going to do something, going to see a show that you've been wanting to do? I said, when I was trying to lose all my weight, I told myself when I lost 30 pounds, I was going to go get a massage.
Right.
Just things like that, and set a goal. And then once you achieve that goal, you can reward yourself. But is your reward helpful or hurtful too? And it doesn't need to be a reward for every little step along the
Yeah.
way. It's the ultimate.
And it shouldn't be a reward, shouldn't be something that you're trying to overcome. So you shouldn't reward yourself with the one thing that you're trying to overcome. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you can't have some chocolate cake
No way.
sometimes. I have chocolate cake sometimes. But it's not something that I want to do necessarily. I would love to be able to live in a perfect world, not ever eat sugar. It's not going to happen, but I'm just saying. So why would I reward myself with the one thing that I'm trying to avoid?
Yeah. It's
That's
just breaking bad habits.
It's a behavior mindset.
Yeah. And it is breaking years and years of bad habits. And like that member said, maybe your parents did that. Maybe they're like, oh, honey, you did so good. Come here and I'll make you some dessert. And then you pass that on to your kids. It's what you maybe learned
Yeah, or
growing up.
you got money for your report cards, and now you're giving money to your kids. But it can get watered down.
It can. And then it gets to be where it's not so special.
Right.
And you want that to be just like an amazing, special moment. Like if you receive an award, I think you received a award at Women in Leadership a few years ago.
Right.
And that was like a big deal. And you had worked very hard over the course of quite a few years to achieve that award, which, I mean, you weren't even working for that, but it was
No,
just something,
It's just something. Right. That's the thing.
which makes it even
Oh,
better.
that's another point too. It's like you really shouldn't be working for an award. And I keep saying award. It's it's kind of the
It's
same.
kind of the same thing.
It is kind of the same, but it's reward.
Yeah.
Is what our weekly winning word is. It's reward, and although it's kind of the same as an award, but reward. So yeah, we really. A reward should be something that's unexpected a lot of times. An incentive would be something that you
Working for.
But a reward is something that you didn't expect, I think.
Unplanned and surprised.
It's unplanned. Like you did the work because you wanted to. You went the extra mile because it's who you are and you just wanted to do it and you didn't care if you would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
And then somebody out of the blue says, I noticed what you did. That's a reward.
That feels so good, for sure.
The best reward ever.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you said, a couple of things. So we were back to talking about good rewards. I mean, like, what are some things that you can reward yourself for? So like if you are, I mean, obviously at Curves, we're talking about living a healthy lifestyle, women losing weight.
Yeah.
So what you mentioned getting a pedicure. What other ways can they, reward themselves for a good job?
They could maybe go buy a movie ticket if they've been wanting to see a movie, or a play ticket, or going out and buying that swimsuit that they've been hoping to get into,
shirt
or a new dress
yes.
that they just feel so good in.
Right.
And then that reward even goes farther because every time you put it on, right?
Yeah.
It's not something quick. But there's just multiple things. But I just think some of us are so predisposition to reach for what we gave up as our reward, which is fine occasionally. It's part of living a healthy lifestyle, but just not all the time. And then you wind up usually beating yourself up over it.
That's exactly.
And so you eat the cake and then you're like, oh, I feel terrible. And then you're like, why did I do that? Because you get on the scale and it's 2 pounds heavier. And then you're beating yourself up over something you were rewarding yourself with. And it just gets to be kind of a vicious cycle. So it's just kind of trying to find what works. And every situation is different too. And sometimes it does warrant having like a little dessert, or something like that. But mix it up, change it up. Don't always stick to the same thing. And you don't need it every time. And don't get bent out of shape when you don't get it.
Right.
Too, because like you were saying, we're in reward overload. And I think sometimes, like with my children, if maybe someone doesn't get a reward, they're like, oh, I'm not doing a very good job. And I'm
So
like,
sensitive. It desensitizes
Yes.
us.
yeah. I mean, you're doing still a great job. Again, stop, pause, sit back, look at what's going on around you. That's your reward if you just look.
Or that feeling of satisfaction, again, like you said, when you say maybe you eat that chocolate cake and then you just feel guilty. And if you don't do it and you practice discipline, what about that next morning when you wake up? Then you get that reward, the full reward of saying, I did it. I didn't give in. I practiced discipline. And the feeling, that craving that you had is gone.
That was me last night.
You don't even
I
want
did
it
it, and I woke
anymore.
up this morning, I'm like, yes.
See?
Yeah.
Now that's reward.
Yeah.
That feeling in itself is reward.
Instead of guilt.
Right. Guilt is no reward. And that was the point in the article that I wrote. It was about, are we rewarding ourselves with instant gratification?
Yeah. Well, in just overall today, everything's so quick. I mean, back in the day, you used to have to actually write a letter and snail, what do they call it? Snail mail now. And now, I mean, you can type it up and zap it and it's at someone's inbox
and with
in 2
text messaging,
seconds.
you don't even have to
Everything is
go
right
to email anymore.
now.
Right.
Right the second, because our life is just sped up in general. And so the same thing, like that instant gratification with rewards, you just sometimes got to just chill out a minute and watch your reward unfold.
What about the scale? So many people.
I hate that thing.
So many people use that scale as their reward factor. And I don't know. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It can be both. I mean, it is definitely accountability. It is a tool that we use, but there's so many other things that attribute into living a healthy lifestyle. Again, another topic we talk about on the circuit frequently. We did this morning, and I said, what is the one thing that you feel like you have achieved since you started at Curves, especially like our newer members? Or what's something that you set a goal and didn't quite miss it, and how'd you flip it? But just to hear him say, this is something that I achieved, is I can get up out of a chair without having to put my hands down now and really use my arms to push myself because my legs have gotten so much stronger. One of our ladies, she's only been there maybe a month. That was like her thing. And so that was her reward, to be like, oh my gosh, to sit back and just to look and see what she was able to do. But again, not an instant gratification. It took her a while. She had to work for it.
Yeah.
And then I just love to hear, okay, then what happened? In another month, I might ask her again, what are you seeing now? What is your reward for all your hard work that you're putting into leading a healthier lifestyle, and you're getting in here for your workouts? Maybe not a scale reward.
Right.
It can be just so many other things
Because
that
the
lead up to
scale
it.
doesn't always tell the truth.
No.
In one way or the other. Let's just face it. It is a good tool, but it doesn't always necessarily give us the full picture.
It is a piece of the puzzle.
So allowing it to determine whether or not you believe you did well or didn't do well, I think is...
It's not a validation.
It's not a validation.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
The validation is, like you said, how you feel.
Right.
And maybe something that you achieved because of all of your hard work.
Yeah.
And then that feeling is your reward.
Yeah. And just rewarding, I keep saying it again, and just rewarding ourselves with things that are great for us.
Yeah.
So I know that, I mean, it's Tuesday, but you guys just started yesterday, so it's probably not too late. You may be able to get in.
No, we're doing it all week, letting people still get in all
good.
week.
So you're doing a 30-day challenge, and it's just a step and activity challenge.
Yeah.
What a great way to reward yourself
Yeah.
by doing something really cool for yourself. How's that? Tell them about that.
It's working out really well. We've been talking to some of the members, and they're like, oh, I don't want a step challenge. I was like, no, it's not just a step challenge. Maybe that's something that you're wanting to increase.
Right.
But the way we've just been explaining it is this time of year, it's hot outside, and vacations are all piling in. Everyone's trying to get this and this done, or the kids are still home, and life just kind of gets off track.
It's hard to lose weight in the summer. A lot of times people think it's
Yeah.
easier.
You actually
but
gain
really,
usually.
most people gain in the summer with vacations and barbecues, and kids are home, and you're going out for ice cream, and you're
it's-
not working out as much because it is so hot.
Yeah.
Although today is beautiful.
I know. But it's shifting that mindset as to what is your challenge to increase your activity. So one of the girls was like, I said, well, what's the one thing that you're just not maybe quite getting taken care of here? She's like, well, I just want to get rid of this. And I was like, what if you do the activity challenge and you challenge yourself 4 extra days a week? I'm either going to do this many more arm machines, or I'm going to do some like tricep work at home or whatever. She goes, I can enter with that. And I said, yes, because you're
Right.
increasing your activity. It's a challenge with yourself. And another member was like, I'm going to increase my activity by coming 1 more day to Curves. We had a new member join just last night. And so I said, you're a pretty active lady, because I actually know her really well. She goes, yeah, but sometimes I get lazy. And so this is just a great way for me to keep myself on track and
Right.
increase my activity. And it was exciting to watch her achieve her goals already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
it's not too late to get in. We're going to take people all week long, and then we're going to go. It'll end like August something. I can't remember, but we'll go all the way through that week. And
So whenever you start, it's 30 days. Basically,
Exactly.
you get signed up sometime this week, and then it's 30
Yep.
days. But what a great reward
Yeah.
for yourself, and so
and how much better you'll feel
and
at the end of the 30
better
days.
you will feel. And again, I rewarded myself last night. I went to this. I guess it's once a month they do this. Anyways, it's Jesus and Me in the Garden, and talk about a reward. Like, I got so filled up, and I want to start looking at rewards like that, like things that are in a line with your goal. A reward should be in a line. Usually instant gratification does not align with your long-term goals, what it is you really want.
When you were going into that, though, did you think that you were going to get a reward, or did you just go?
No, I just wanted to connect with Jesus. I wanted to fill up, and I just wanted to take that time.
So you got that
It was a
unexpected
reward to
reward.
myself. I was like gonna take that 2 hours and just do that.
Yeah.
As I looked at it as a reward that I was going, is what I'm saying.
Sure, to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
selfishly
the reward
fill
you
up on
actually
Jesus.
got out of it was probably even better.
Well, of course, but yeah, it's that reward of saying, let's do something great for ourselves. Let's do something that's in a line with what our goals and dreams are. Let's not use instant gratifications, those things that come along and you're like, oh, I really want that cake, or oh, I really don't want to exercise because I'd rather sleep in because it's cold or it's too hot, or those things that we're using as a reward when it's really instant gratification. And instant gratification tends to not align with your goals. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
For sure. They can derail them.
Derail. It happens. So, well, awesome. That's a quick time. We're done.
That's done? Holy cow. We could
I
talk
know.
on that all day.
That's a wrap. Wait, I could talk about this instant gratification thing all day because it really is a mindset. It's a behavior change, and that's what I love. And that's what we love to do at I've Decided is help you be successful, help you achieve your goals and dreams. We would love for you to join our community if you have not. So check us out at ivedecided.org. Get signed up. Start getting your weekly winning resource and your success planner and journal, and get on your way to successfully achieving your goals and dreams.
And come and check us out at Curves and join our 30-day activity challenge.
Yes,
You got till
absolutely.
the end of the week.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this is a good topic. You could go.
PeoriaLife.com